Welcome back in. Finishing off hour number 2. Appreciate all of you hanging out with us. I am Clay Travis. This is Outkick the Coverage, and we are rolling through with a variety of different topics to get to. This is honestly, I'm not even kidding about this. Sometimes people use, and certainly my universe, hyperbole to argue, hey, you know, this is the busiest time of the year. There's so many stories. I legitimately believe this. I think we're headed into rejoice, the busiest time in the history of sports that has ever existed. I mean, I think if you contemplate college football, right? I think if you think about the NFL, and by the way, college football about to get even crazier because there's a strong argument that not only is the Big Ten coming back, Pac-12's coming back, Mountain West, MAC, basically everybody is going to play. I think there's a strong argument out there that if you think about the U.S. Open, if you think about the NFL, think about the NBA, Eastern and Western Conference Finals, there has never been a busier time of year than what we are dealing with right now. There's never been a busier time in all of sports than what we are dealing with right now. But as we finish off hour number 2, I want to tell you, Blue Emu Maximum Pain Relief works fast. You won't stink. It's pharmacist recommended odor-free pain relief for muscle pain, backache, strains, sprains, or even arthritis. No stinging or burning involved. It's simple pain relief. Blue Emu Maximum Pain Relief works fast and you won't stink. We have an expert in the world of golf, and his name is Dub. Even though he can't figure out how the telephones work on a day-to-day basis, he's pretty good at being able to break down everything going on in the world of the U.S. Open. And I bring him in here now with me. Dub, like we talked yesterday with the President of the United States, and you and I both know that the last time the U.S. Open took place at Winged Foot, there was a +5, was the overall champion of the U.S. Open taking place at this golf course. The president told us that he shoots a low 70, which my phone blew up, and people were like, if he's shooting a low 70 at Winged Foot, that's pretty incredible. Now, in the president's defense, he's been a long-term member of the course there, so he's probably been playing it for a long time. But it seems to me that the USGA basically decided we don't want this to be a massacre. We don't want anybody to end up shooting a massively high number here. There were a lot of under par scores in the opening Thursday, and we're underway now with Friday going and everything else. But did it shock you, Dub, how low the scores were? They're basically, after Thursday, as we roll into Friday here, is no doubt at all that there are going to be a lot more people under par in terms of contending for a championship than there are over par. This is not going to be a massacre. The course is not going to win.
Well, you speak of this, 21 players in the first round.
That's crazy, right?
Broke 70. And if you would have told me that, if you would have had a crystal ball and told me that, I would not have believed you. I would not have believed you for 1 second. But to be fair, the conditions yesterday were pretty easy.
Do you think they rigged it, though? Do you think the USGA rigged it because they didn't want a +5? Because a lot of people out there are casual golf fans, and they're like, oh, you couldn't have played a good round if you ended up above par, and it's different than it has been in the past. I understand the conditions were perfect and all those arguments that you can make, but when you have that many people go under par, it seems to me the USGA has basically decided we don't want a massacre here.
Yeah, I think they definitely decided to make Thursday. They kind of eased everybody into it, if that's possible at Winged Foot. But I heard rumors on Twitter and beyond that the
Hold on. You heard rumors on Twitter and beyond.
That's right.
Literally anybody can go on Twitter and say anything. Do you buy the rumors on Twitter?
I do. These came
All right,
from
so tell me what the rumors are that you buy.
Various golf sources, we'll call them, that the Winged Foot superintendent was really pissed off, basically, at how the USGA decided to set up the opening Thursday as far as pin locations and stuff like that. The leader right now after yesterday, Justin Thomas, 5 under. I'm going to make a prediction that whoever ends up winning this tournament will be no better than 3 under. I think they're going to really kick it up.
But even 3 under is a pretty big deal because you basically had even money coming in from a gambling perspective. Will the winner of the U.S. Open, anybody, be under par or above par? This is a 50-50 thing.
I would have taken above par, no doubt.
Right, you would have. But
Absolutely.
now after Thursday, as we get ready and rolling into Friday, you'd have to be an imbecile, right? I mean, it seems to me like they decided they want to be under par.
Or you could give me plus 500, and I'd still probably take the over par, just because today.
Do you think they're going to have awfully difficult pin locations from
that
here
too,
on out?
and plus the wind today is supposed to get up to 20 miles per hour. I think yesterday it maxed out at about 5, which is basically 0 for these guys. So I was definitely surprised with the low scores, but I think by the time the weekend comes around, it's going to be more of a traditional U.S. Open struggle in terms of these guys being able to break par.
Who do you like? Like, if people are gambling going into the weekend, I was lazy, right? I bet John Rahm, I bet Dustin Johnson, and I bet a guy that ended up doing, decent, Justin Thomas, right? He's the leader as we get ready for the long weekend. Who do you like? Who do you think makes sense here?
I like JT. He played unbelievable in the first round. I bet him as well. I really like.
By the way, JT, Outkick fan.
Absolutely.
He might be listening to us right now as he gets ready for the Friday edition.
If he does win this tournament, I might even have to give him a roll tide for that one. But
even as an Auburn guy?
Even as an Auburn guy. But going in, I really liked Webb Simpson. He had an okay day on Thursday. We'll see what he does coming into the weekend, but he's a guy that hits a lot of greens, hits a lot of fairways, and that's obviously rule number 1 and rule number 2 when you're playing at the U.S. Open. So those were my top 2 guys going into the week, JT, and Rory looked unreal.
Rory played great.
If we get treated to a JT-Rory battle down the stretch on Sunday, I don't think anyone can have any complaints about that.
Would you agree with me? This may be, like, not even hyperbole, potentially the greatest weekend of sports in American history?
Absolutely. We got week 2 of the NFL. We got college football coming through, a major in golf. It's unbelievable. Baseball, basketball, hockey. If you like sports, this is probably the greatest weekend of all time.
I mean, I don't even think that's hyperbole. I think legitimately you can argue, if you are a sports fan, we have never had more stories all taking place, more games all taking place in the history of sports than what we got going on this weekend.
You got to love it.
Got to love it, indeed.